Bureau of Meteorology have just released their 2018 climate statement. Let's have a look at the key findings. Well, it'll come as no surprise to most Australians to hear it was one of the driest and warmest years on record, considering the drought through 2018 and the severe heat waves we've seen over the last couple of months. These are the key findings, and it was the third warmest year on record. That's the average of the minimums and the maximums across the whole of the country. The mean temperature was 1.14 degrees above the long-term average. It was the driest year since 2005 for Australia. For southeastern Australia, it was the seventh driest year on record. Let's have a look at details, starting with the rainfall. Firstly, the rainfall deciles. Red shows below average rain in 2018. The darkest red shows was the driest year on record. That includes parts of northwest New South Wales, where the annual rainfall was below 100 millimetres. On the other side of it, it was a wet year through eastern parts of WA, and the wettest year on record in a small pocket around Broome, where they picked up over 1,500 millimetres of rain, including the town of Broome itself, your wettest year on record. So national rainfall was 11% below the average at 412.8 millimetres, but for New South Wales and these key farming areas across the Murray-Darling Basin, that rainfall was roughly 40% below the average, and therefore we are in the middle of one of the worst droughts on record. And when we're talking about on record, we're talking about since 1910. That is the year when we have reliable data. That's where it starts from. Let's look at the temperature data now. We saw temperatures well above average through most of Australia. Above average temperatures indicated by the yellow and the orange. This darker orange shows where it was the warmest year on record. That covers much of northern New South Wales. The only parts of the country that had close to average temperatures, indicated by the white, small parts of the tropics and the southwest corner of WA. Nowhere was colder than average. These are the key temperature findings. The third warmest year on record. The second warmest year on record if you only look at the maximum temperatures. And again, this is since 1910. And it was a record warm year for New South Wales. Now, what led to these anomalies in 2018? There was some natural variability. We didn't see a strong El Niño or La Niña in the Pacific Ocean, but we did have a positive Indian Ocean dipole. That's the Indian Ocean version of El Niño, and that helped to bring the drier and warmer conditions to some parts of the country. Also, climate change is now a huge influencer on our weather each year. The average temperature has gone up more than 1 degree since the early 20th century, and that's right in line with what we saw in 2018, with temperatures around 1 degree above average. Also, over the last 50 years or so, we've seen a reduction in rainfall through southern Australia, exactly what we saw in 2018, and we've seen an increase in rainfall through parts of northern Australia. Again, that's the pattern we saw in 2018.